I've been taking a lot of projects through kind of like a stable of questions, and I'm going to just treat the generator for Pvt Ppr kind of the same way, if that's all right.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
I'll lead the interview here by just asking about just sort of getting to know you questions. So it'll be like 3 Douglas in a nutshell, like 30 seconds about me or about you. And then we'll kind of do the same elevator pitch for the generator. And then we'll talk about some specifics after that.
Okay.
So,
all right. So like I've been coding since I was in high school, and after many years of just trying different projects, I fell into cryptocurrency because I didn't have a bank account and I wanted to buy stuff online. And just eventually that got me to where I'm at now, where trading and mining is the 2 things I primarily work on.
very cool. Very cool. So it sounds like then so due to circumstances that initially you were not good, you decided to make it awesome and turn to cryptocurrency to deal with being unbanked then.
Yeah. I think I first dealt with cryptocurrency with Hashcash and Beancoin, if anybody remembers those ancient technologies. And then, by the time Bitcoin came around and I wasn't completely there, and then someone was like, hey, I need you to build this, I'll pay you in Bitcoin. And I've been in Bitcoin ever since. I even got the Bitcoin onesie on.
Wow, that's awesome, man. So what year was that you first got into Bitcoin?
2009 is when I first started learning about it, mining it.
Nice. Okay, so man, okay, so I mean you've been around essentially since the beginning, as early as anybody was mining it.
Yeah, I didn't really take a fourth for it until about 2013, 2012. That's when I really started taking it serious. It was just like a fun project, kind of like BIOS mining, if you remember BIOS mining, protein folding.
Oh yeah, yes.
Lots of people did that for free, and for me it was the same thing for the longest time. And then someone told me it had a value, and I felt stupid after that, but just kept on with it.
Okay, cool. So then, all right, then you're something of an OG, but but as far as like being one of those like early fake Bitcoin whales like Richard Hart, you're not like a fake Bitcoin whale like Richard Hart.
I'm not a whale at all.
Yeah, I just say that I'm just playing. I don't know. Who knows if Richard Hart actually is a whale? I think sometimes his stories, it just sounds too rehearsed. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I was solo mining 50 Bitcoin blocks on my, and then he's oddly specific, right? Like it was definitely an AMD 5750. Really? Okay. All right, cool story, Richard Hart. But okay, so you don't claim to be a Bitcoin whale or to have gotten in so early.
No, I'm quite poor with cryptocurrency. About 90% of everything I've ever mined, I've had to use. So, like back then when I was first mining, it seemed like just about everybody who was mining it was using it to get servers online, or they were using it to try to get money elsewhere. Like the guy that made their first faucet, he just was like, how do I turn this into cash? And he found out using ads got him money. So just a lot of the older people that really was mining it for use, we were really using it.
That is funny, man. I mean, like in retrospect, right? Like giving away Bitcoin for ad revenue today, like
I actually have companies that still do that. Like I manage faucets and stuff like that. So that's still a big thing, actually.
Got it. Okay. And I'm sure the economics have changed a little bit, right? Like the Satoshi per ad, like I'm sure is a different economic value, right? Like people giving away a lot more before.
Oh yeah. Especially like in 2014, you could easily get like 200, 300,000 Satoshi in a click. And then now you might get 50 to 150 Satoshi in a click.
Got it. So, I mean, it sounds like that might even be a topic for an entirely separate interview, talking about like dealing with click farms and other automated attacks and stuff on that, because on a faucet, because I mean,
there's a lot of technology that goes behind faucets. A lot of work was done with them.
Yeah, I mean that's fascinating. I didn't realize that there were so like active faucets that were in the business of legitimately creating value and or earning money, at least from ad revenue.
Oh,
it's cool.
Oh yeah.
Awesome. Okay, so you've been involved in that side of Bitcoin and cryptocurrency now because you're managing some of these faucets, but you've been exposed to Bitcoin since the beginning and actually actively using it in mining since about 2012, 2013. from that point till now, what has been, I don't know, what have you seen by way of cryptocurrency projects that to you have been meaningful? Because you mentioned having to spend about 90% of your mining proceeds in operational expense, just
Yeah.
both mining
Well,
slash life.
yeah. I think some of the better projects I've seen is like when Monero first came out and Litecoin first came out. Like when Litecoin first came out, that made everybody think that you could fork it without it being exactly the same thing. And I've been interacting with the Litecoin GitHub since I want to say 2015, and just like constantly, and it's a never-ending project. But like Monero, um, I still mine Monero to this day. And at one time, I even like showed people how to mine Monero actively, showing my hashes, because I was like, it's so private. I don't have to worry about you actually knowing anything, even if you know how much hash rate I have. So those are two big projects that made a huge difference. And I don't think if Monero didn't do like the code fork and show everybody, just because someone else made it doesn't mean we can't take control over it. Like that was a huge thing for cryptocurrency. It really taught people that this really is what we want to make it. No one has control over it.
Man, that's awesome. That's really cool. I saw an interview with John McAfee a while back, and I know he's a controversial figure, right? Either people love him or they hate him. Nobody's ever like neutral, right? Around John McAfee. But he said something that for me was really impressive, and he mentioned like what you're saying, like the killer app of cryptocurrency is that you can make your own. That's
Yeah.
So now I've got to ask, man, have you ever forked a coin? Has there ever been a three
Yeah.
Douglas coin?
Yeah, there's a 3D9 that's on Ethereum. I've forked Monero, I've forked Litecoin, I've forked Bitcoin. I've at least forked coins just to see like how easy is it or how hard is it to sustain that project or that type of build. And if I think my longest running coin is Self Ledger Coin, and it's right now a purely JavaScript coin, and it started off as a fork of Bitcoin and just slowly stripped away everything that wasn't needed. Now we're looking at implementing Raft, which is a Node.js type of consensus.
Wow. Okay. So you're saying Node.js consensus, would that be almost like your so for consensus to be almost like proof of browser touches or something? I don't think you have to like live.
Actually, the whole process is done in the browser. Like it builds your hashes in the browser. So I had to build a custom hash that was very lightweight, that could be ran on almost any device. I ran it on a Nintendo 2DS XL. But so that's the reason why we did. So we can do proof of history, proof of origin, and then I can store all the information inside of a hash link, which is how I got to be able to do private paper generator by doing these hash links. So we can store all of the data inside of another hash.
Nice. Okay, so it sounds like then this is this all built all these ideas and all these experiments built on each other to bring you to the point right now with the private paper generator. So, yeah. Man, that's so cool. Let's talk about that and talk about where that fits in the current cryptocurrency and blockchain ecosystem.
All right, yeah. So private paper generator uses itty-bitty protocol to turn everything you do into a custom link. All the code is inside of it. If you type in all your information, all your words, nothing is stored on a server. So it gives you honest right and to your whatever you build on it. So if you want to build your own newspaper, that's actually what I think the first use for it was. So anarchists could make newspapers, share them through QR codes. And then I wanted to link them together. So we built a JavaScript hash chain. And now you have your own blockchain inside your own newspaper. And now it becomes immutable. Now you just have to link the old ones to the new ones, and you can never go back and remove the old one. You can change it, you can edit it, it'll give you a brand new link. And so the whole ideal was if we're going to have money that's ours, we need information and data that's ours. And so you can literally build your own journal, have it completely offline. No one can ever know about it. The entropy rate for your link is going to be like 20, 30,000 characters. So you don't have to worry about someone guessing it, and also with the generator, it's an introduction to Bitcoin and cryptography. When you sign your your private paper, you actually have to put in a message, and it signs it with a digital date as well as another hash on top of that saying, hey, this is who actually signed it and this was their message. So you actually get your own personal like little signature in base 64 that you can easily undo and see what's inside of it. You can also easily undo and see the date. And so, yeah, this just allows people to have their own data.
And that is really, really cool. As far as the amount of infrastructure necessary to run that blockchain, like you're mentioning, to just to support the network and to secure it, kind of what's the minimum viable, right, network size?
Like 1 or 2 papers is all you need. You just need 2 publications. You do a publication and then another one on top of it linking to the old one. And that's all you actually need to start it. I've seen JavaScript browsers and JavaScript machines, like non-actual, like virtual machine JavaScript machines, able to run it, open it, use it, and have all sorts of different use cases for it. For example, we've taken the generator hash link, the full hash link, and put it inside NFTs on Ethereum network. And so now we are selling and sending the distribution of the generator. So now I can send a copy of the generator anyone, anywhere in the world or not on the world, as long as they're connected to Ethereum. They have a wallet that does collectibles. And then when they look at their collectible, there's a link at the bottom. They click that. It opens up on their end. No server has to be needed. Right now, we do have servers like Mr. Alcor runs the main itty bitty server. I'm working on getting a server on IPS. And we do have subliminary servers that run throughout the ClearNet that just allow people to open it up. But you can actually do all of the offline. It doesn't have to be online.
That is super cool. So what I'm to make sure I'm picking up what you're putting down here. You mentioned as far as being able to put some of these papers like and essentially embed within an Ethereum-based NFT. You could, if you wanted to, you could create something like, say, a newsletter or like what used to be an email list on the Ethereum blockchain as an NFT instead, and have people do almost like a token sale, but it's not a token sale. It's just for the information that you're giving to them, and you know that it's secured by the Ethereum blockchain.
Yeah.
Like for broad distribution, you could mint as many of those as you needed to make sure that it fits the needs of your air quotes subscriber base, whatever that means in this context, right? Like they subscribe by sending you Ether, and then you sending them the NFT.
You send the token. Yeah, cool. Exactly. If you wanted to put your own newspaper in NFT, you could. You could do each issue would be a new token.
Nice. Is there already like this use case? Because you brought it up, and I'm like, oh my gosh, this is cool. It's like, whatever, like those 4-print like little like single fold zines, right? That people would like go scan and like distribute by hand and stuff. Like some of those are pretty cool, right? Back in the day, like little like the underground zines. So yeah. But like, has somebody already done that with this concept?
Not specifically that. I think I'm the only person that's put it inside an NFT yet. I did put the paper that tells you how to put these in NFTs inside an NFT. But we do have private papers being generated in 19 countries right now. And the generator's only been out since January 13th of this year.
Very cool. Any idea geographically, like, or can you tell me what the short list is? You mentioned the number of countries, but
like from India to Russia to China to France, Spain, Canada is a big one. Seems like about any place where they're really hitting hard on what's being allowed to be published on their social media or online. Those are the places that hit us first. So the first ones that got us was like Spain and France were like the first 2 countries besides America that started private papers, their own newspapers.
Nice. And that is super cool. So there was a short time where I followed a blogger out of Havana, and the pains they had to go through to publish, because they were using some like popular platform, I think like Google Blog or Blogspot or whatever. It wasn't a WordPress site. And for them, it was super painful trying to figure out like, okay, how do I get to enough bandwidth in Havana? Because bandwidth is for tourists, right? It's not really for residents, out in Cuba. And then they would write stuff that they couldn't be too overtly critical of the regime, because then there'd be some kind of a takedown, right? Like, and yeah, something that's like lightweight, like what you're talking about, and just the exact same, everything they were writing, they weren't doing photos or anything. It wasn't a photojournalist. It wasn't a photojournalism project. It was like, no, we're trying to get some signal out and talk to people about what's the real situation is here.
Now,
So
this would actually help them. Like, I built the generator on my cell phone, and I run all this on my cell phone. So, and if you wanted to, you could actually do all the math by hand. You could write everything out by hand on paper, put it in a piece of paper, and physically mail someone your private paper that you generated. Like,
okay,
it doesn't actually have to be online. And once they get it, they can do the math, they can decrypt it or decode it in this case, actually, and see everything that you said. And then they can do it again and send it back to you.
very cool. Okay, so all right, so it sounds like then you'd have to make sure that your network is of people that are like willing to do the math if you wanted to go that route.
Yeah, if you wanted to go that route, yeah. Now, I have done stuff where I've sent someone a physical copy of the private paper that I made on my phone, and I just wrote the link down. They got the link in the paper. They took their phone out using OCR, scanned it, and it just automatically opened it up on their phone. Never had to be online.
That is really cool. That's really, really cool. So yeah, no IP tracking other than that person, right? Their OPSEC may have been the weakest link.
Now, if they wanted to, they could have opened up a terminal on Linux and put in the link, hash link there with an actual decrypting key, a generic decrypting key, by the way. So it's the same for all of them. So like that was the whole point. We wanted everything to be decentralizable. So like any way you can think of, you can process, send, and encode a private paper. And I used Bitcoin as like my heavy work for that because I saw Bitcoin had that ability. You could write Bitcoin down. You could do Bitcoin on a calculator. And so I wanted to do the same thing. And so that's what we did.
Nice. That is super, super cool. And so it sounds like then there's already some utilization of the generator for private paper. And I've seen some of the stuff that you've posted on Twitter about this so far. And it sounds like based on the real world usage right now, and then what I've read from you so far, what I'm gathering is the intent is for it to be mostly just kind of to help to create communities surrounding freedom of expression, mostly.
Yeah.
And make sure that if you already have a bit of a tribe, that your tribe is able to communicate freely.
Yeah. Oh, exactly. That's a really good way to say it. We even have it set where you can sell ad space. So, because I wanted this, like, anybody who's anybody should be able to make money off this as well. Like, there's no reason why it shouldn't help you sustain some kind of life for yourself.
Okay. Yeah. Awesome. So as far as ad space, I'm struggling to, in my mind, figure out what this looks like, but conceptually, selling ad space, how would you explain that?
So when we teach people how to size, you get a little space in the generator that says, put an ad link here, put ad text here, and it builds a very small little rounded button on the bottom of your page. We're getting it such where you can also put in a picture, but when you're trying to sell, you take your link and you regenerate to a short link. You can generate information based off the short link clicks, and so then you can sell that data to get your actual ads sold. So you can get proof of revenue, proof of clicks, even though it's not always as legit as you'd want. Now, we do go through places like Rebrandly, which is a free place where you can generate stuff. And they can actually tell you when it's unique. Reused, if the same IP goes to it, it would be considered a non-unique click. And so we do teach other people how to use these services just because, like you're saying, that's a hard thing to sell. I do have one person, though, that he went to a company like in his town and he showed them what he was doing and sold them basically the link to the private paper that he was using so they could generate their own memos for their internal service. So they could send memos to each other without it having to go out into the actual, open network.
Interesting. Very, very cool. So it sounds like then this is pretty heady stuff, man. I'm not gonna lie. But for me, I don't immediately see the easy path to market with it, but I definitely see how it's like it is extremely useful. So like just having like another for the for the modern crypto gent or lady, how it's like a useful back pocket tool to have, right? Like definitely people should be paying attention to stuff like this. So
Oh, yeah.
as far as overall OPSEC, to be able to use the generator for private paper, are there best practices for people to work with it? Is there, like right now, is there sort of like, pardon the phrase, nobody even says this anymore. They just call it visual building now, but WYSIWYG, right? Like, is there a way to work with the generator that is simple for the non-technical person who's just saying, I just want to try to create something and I don't necessarily want to learn a new programming language or
Yeah. On your browser, go to private tab, type in 3dd.in/ppgen, and it will pop up, and that's the least you have to do.
Got it. I'm actually going to do that right now. So 3D dot.
Yeah,
Oh my gosh.
3dd. It's 2Ds.
3dd.
3dd.in/ppgen.
I think it did a
And
/
a lot of people do.
Ah, you know what? There you go. Still works. Yeah, itty bitty site.
Yeah, it's brand new technology, and it should say on there like this is brand new technology, as a warning.
Does this look accurate?
Okay, that is it. Yeah. And if you look on there, it tells you a little bit of information on how to, like you can insert HTML in the main body, and gives you people what some of that basic stuff is. Because I actually remember like used to use a blog for The Onion where they had that on their main screen. Here's the basics to do HTML, and I thought that was cool, so I wanted to do that here too.
Nice.
So you don't even have to know coding, and you can still code a little bit.
Nice. Okay, that makes sense. Say, I see. It seems like I don't know, man. It seems like in the world that we're in, at least a little bit of HTML, CSS, and JS is like it's a necessity. If people don't know at least some, like you're lost in today's world.
Oh yeah, I agree with you there. Like it's very necessary. It's not as necessary as like needing to know C++ or React, but it's still, those are the good ones to know.
Yeah, for sure. So private paper generator, this is it. This is the main event right here.
Yeah, you can type in anything and just click submit. Actually, you should be just click submit and build an empty generated page.
Here we go. I am a more than empty page, but less than full. There we go. Okay. There we go. Okay. There, we're done. We got this example here. So for anybody who's just listening in, for the title, I wrote in full, no, but not empty, and then did a little bit of formatting there on the text. Got some bold, and then have some parentheses, which is shouldn't be too confusing. And notes saying see above. Author's Bitcoin address. Ooh.
Yeah, I did have Bitcoin and Litecoin, but a bunch of people from Asia kept asking me for new addresses. So I went ahead and put in Cointree support, because you can like put a whole bunch of different addresses in Cointree. And then you just put your Cointree username, and it will do the rest of the work for you.
Awesome. And then the add link right there.
Yep.
I'm just going to put in not a short code. Okay. And I'll hit submit. Oh, there. I
and just click that.
Blew up the
and
text.
It will open up.
Oh, that's dang it. It's huge. Oh.
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm going to write.
It should just be a click to open.
I'm going to right click and copy link address for right now.
Sounds good.
I'll open it up in a new. Hey, there it is.
Yeah. And that link address that you copied, that's the hash link. That's what secures it.
Got it. Okay, and I'm seeing some and right there. And you mentioned before that, oh man, that's significant. The hash link there.
Yes, sir. That's going to make sure you're not going to, AI is not going to figure that out very quickly.
Yeah, no, not at all. Unless there's a simple, not AI, but if there may be some means.
Yeah, like there's a place where you can actually test passwords by a quantum computer. And I put in one of those links as a password, and it said it could take up to 100 years for a quantum computer to guess that.
Nice. That is so cool, man. Awesome. So here it is. This is way cool. Honestly, I can see myself sending some notes this way. This is rad.
Right.
And especially, okay, now, oh man, now, okay, gonna refresh and article title, embed, yes, /y/n. Okay, so a small amount of markup like breaks, horizontal lines. To what extent is HTML supported here? If I wanted to,
you can do everything but most JavaScript.
got it.
Like I've actually seen someone build a micro website inside one of these through the private paper generator.
Okay, so I think what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna go over here.
And if you want to copy like your previous link, there is a spot in the generator for your previous link. It'll say it's right below the spots you're at, and it'll say previous paper. I think is what it says. Yeah, you'll see it right there.
Oops. I don't know if I had audio on there. Okay. Short link. Hey, that's awesome. Yeah. Okay. So I would just copy and paste this in.
Yeah.
Got
and then
it.
when you click previous paper on there, it should take you to the previous paper.
Okay. So short link though.
Now I put that there. It doesn't have to be short link. It will accept characters up to a few 100,000 characters or so. I think I had like 500,000 be successful so far.
Nice.
Because when you're doing all this, you're building a hash network. You know, those hash nets that failed in the 90s, late 90s. I used to intern for a company that was doing them, and I learned inner hashing abilities, how to take hashes inside hashes and still be able to access them, see them, use them without opening them. And so you're actually building that technology now. And because we're using JavaScript, it's way more efficient.
Got it. Very cool. All right, I'm going to look up something really fast for me to try out something very ambitious here.
Okay.
I'm going to grab a snippet of code over here on this website. It's a bit larger, just an embed code, an iframe. We'll see how this works. Embed, yes, no. Nobody. Nothing. Shut up. There we go. Okay. And all right, this is not making any sense. I apologize because I was recording podcast. This might have to go to video with this because it's so cool. It's been so much fun to play with. So ID and tags, I think we're good there.
I'm glad you like it.
Well, I mean, let's be real. This is. Oh! Okay, we got the embed. Okay. It gave me the iframe. It's not serving the content. Okay. I thought maybe it would, but you know what? Not blocking any scripts though. So it's
Now you just embed. Was it a is it just the HTML video tag?
Yeah, so funny. I pulled that from YouTube, and with YouTube, the HTML video tag, they stopped doing their embeds that way. It's iframe only at this point.
Okay.
Yeah, I think I did this wrong. But now I'm just really, really curious. Just really curious.
Yeah, if you're embedding like a video, you have to use the HTML video tag instead of like iframe or anything like that. Because I think iframe isn't allowed on the itty bitty protocol, just because that's how a lot of viruses are spread throughout the internet.
Sure. Okay.
Because I know there's a like React. I can't do a lot of React on it because the same thing with the protocol. A lot of viruses are made using React JavaScript.
Got it. Okay. All right. Awesome, man. That's so cool, though. You could definitely, if you had a place where it was stored, I wonder then if I could serve some video from IPFS and use the just use the video tag there. Well,
yeah, that would probably work. I've done images from IPFS and library, so I wouldn't see any reason why not.
Very cool. All right, so I'm this e-zine is starting to take shape here, man. The NFT zine.
Right.
Yeah, very, very cool. Well, this is awesome, man. I really appreciate you coming on the show to talk about this and to share it with me. It looks like in terms of practical application, it's something that anybody can use right now, and it seems extremely useful. So there are a lot of. I'm just wondering though. It seems like as far as storage, it's essentially hosting a static page in which, like you're saying, you can't inject any JS or anything else. So there's some limitations, but makes sense. They're reasonable based on what you're saying. But as far as publishing info, if you want anything of value, like say, for example, CAD files. The CAD files are very popular these days on the web. We'll say CAD files, CAD CAM, and then videos showing people how to manufacture certain items. But it seems like that might be a little more difficult unless, like you said, you were able to properly either link back to or embed something from library or IPFS.
Yeah, because I mean, this is mostly for text. It saves the text hardline, and then everything you embed into it still just linked back. So like if you was to turn off your internet, all your text would still pop up, but your videos and your pictures wouldn't.
Got it. Man, that is so cool. So cool. All right. This has been great, man. I'm going to go ahead and turn off that screen share really fast, and then let's gab a little bit. I noticed you had to jump into the car. And you said you had a couple of errands to run today also, and I appreciate you being flexible.
Kids. It's all good. I really appreciate you letting me come on.
Yeah. Well, let's talk just really briefly, if I may, get your take on some privacy and some privacy tech. Let's boil it down to some questions that I think are really important to most people at home, because I think a lot of people are not really conscious of their privacy. And there's a balance, right? Like if there were perfect privacy, and like some people think that perfect privacy means like always having the blinds on. But if that were true, then we wouldn't be able to find bad actors, right? Like at all.
Right.
And some people think that that imperfect privacy means that everything is always open all the time. So you know everybody's secrets and there's nothing secret at all in the world. And I don't think that's exactly the lack of privacy. But as far as if humankind were to get privacy done correctly, what do you think that level, that balance of privacy would be?
I think if that was to happen, people would be asking a lot less questions about each other, and they would want to be knowing more information about what's around them. And instead of like a social security number, you would be giving a SURE number, so that way you could aggregate all of your own keys from that point on from your own name. And then you could, like, no one would go by their real face, no one would go by their real name. We would use pedestrian bots and stuff, never actually leave any building.
Okay, got it. So so in your mind, the right level of privacy would look extremely different from the way society is today.
Yes, sir. Yeah. It'd be more like we would choose to be in the Matrix, but the Matrix would be in real life. We just wouldn't directly interact with it.
Sure, that kind of makes sense, man. I mean, you figure like right now we do let ourselves get plugged in way too much. We are all like cyborgs, right? Like we're like,
Yeah.
I mean, you got the earphones in your ear. I've got them covering my ear because that's more comfortable for me. Somebody else might prefer bone induction, right? Like
Right.
different, yeah, headset, but like we're using them, hours out of every day. And then same with, yeah, my faulty webcam right now. I'm really bothered by that. I've got a replacement for it, but and then yeah, displays and all that,
That's
microphones. So
yeah, it's like I sit in front of my phone camera all the time. I got one of those little slides on my phone so that you would
nice.
normally put on your computer, just because like never know.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I think, gosh, was it Tim Cook who finally caved? And it's like when the CEO of Apple has tape over his webcam, then yeah, there's no PC manufacturer that's solved that problem.
Right, right.
Cool. Okay, so that's your idea of like the correct balance of privacy. Let me ask you some practical like application questions as far as favorite crypto wallets, because you mentioned you've been unbanked for years and you've
Yep.
been like all in on crypto, like all in on crypto for years now. Man, what are your go-tos? What would you share with people who are thinking, I really want to do this. I want to go all in on crypto.
Well, it's like Atomic Wallet, Konami Wallet, any wallet where you can like literally export your keys are my first favorites. And then I use like Free Wallet, which is a mobile wallet. And then I use probably not the best of wallets, but freebitco.in. It's a faucet and gambling site. Well, they have a wallet system and they do KYC Bitcoin interest. So I make interest every day for holding Bitcoin there, so they can pay out their gambler earning, people who win from the casino.
Got it.
Those
Okay.
are the ones I recommend.
Got it. So freebitco.in sounds like then they've got really good interest because they need you as a liquidity partner to hold as much Bitcoin there as you can.
Yeah. They're the second longest running faucet ever, and like you only have to hold like 30,000 Satoshi to start getting paid from them.
Sweet. It
So like
beats
$5 and you can start earning interest.
the pants off of Coinbase.
Yeah. And then everyone who wants to get into crypto, I always tell them go to 3dbtclist.com or freecrypto.cc. Those are websites I built for when I was trying to get all of my sites put together in 2013, and then they have flourished into some of the, I guess, best faucet sites where it's a faucet hub and information hub, and like literally it's completely for free.
Very, very
Anyone
cool.
can go there, no ads or anything like that.
That's awesome, man. Go ahead and, if you don't mind, send me those links in Twitter, and I'll make sure those make it into the show notes so that everybody who
Awesome.
listens can go and participate. Is there any kind of incentive for you? Is there any kind of kickback for you when people do click on links? Are there any kind of, not ads, but any
Yeah.
kind of like affiliate links at all? So at least you can be credited.
The faucets are my affiliate links and a couple of the wallets, but the rest of them are not.
Got it. Okay. I mean, hey, I'm not against affiliate links, really, honestly. Like you were saying before, if somebody has been active in public, right, they're going, I mean, a lot of people do get doxxed when they're public about cryptocurrency. And so in exchange for that risk, I don't think it's unreasonable to say like, hey, you are welcome to have some reward, right? Like a kickback for
Yeah.
sending people to these sites. It's not the same as ads, I don't think.
Yeah, it's not quite the same as ads. It's like when you put an affiliate link, if you don't trust it and you put it up there, and people go there and they talk to you about it, and you're like, they're going to notice that. So it's for me, like putting the affiliate link, it really makes people want to question me, and that either shows them how much I prefer it or don't prefer it, and that makes a huge difference, Because if it's not an affiliate link, then they're just like, oh, well, then it don't matter what they think.
Yeah. Yeah. Nice. So it sounds like then, so favorite wallets, you mentioned Atomic Wallet, you mentioned Coinomi for desktop, not for mobile. Okay,
I use it on mobile. I don't have a desktop computer.
oh
Everything I
yeah,
do is on mobile computers.
that's okay. That makes sense. I don't know why for some reason I thought that like you had like some kind of like an ARM workstation, or like you were committed to like the ARM lifestyle, right? Like hashtag ARM
Um,
life. Like,
I have two Raspberry Pis, but they run networks. Like one runs a mining network and it brings in the internet from a cell phone and distributes it. And then the other one brings in internet from like multiple cell phones and distributes that internet.
got it. Okay, so you're using it as Like you're using those as like router boxes then, essentially.
Yeah, like smart routers, if you want
Okay.
to call it that.
Yeah. Okay. That makes sense. Yeah, I'm not like super up to speed on routers right now. I know there are a couple of I'm at a loss for the name of the packages, man. There are a couple of really good router packages that people will run on lightweight hardware like Raspberry Pi, and so that makes sense. Gosh darn it, I'm drawing blank just because I've got other friends that would say like, hey, just buy some kind of like a commercial appliance, right, and run Router OS or yeah, Router OS by Microtech or something else, right? So or
Yeah,
yeah,
I think Router
OpenWRT.
OS is still pretty popular.
Yeah, heard some criticisms of it too, but it sounds like if you can just build it yourself, right, and have
Yeah,
some other like open source package running, then why not? You're gonna save some money, and have it be way more customizable, I think. So
yeah. You just got to put your time and effort into it and make it what you want it to be. Just like Bitcoin, put your time and effort to it, make it what you want it to be.
nice. Well, this is a solid example of it, man. This is a great showing here with the private paper generator. This is super cool. Having you walk me through it has made it helped me understand it a lot better. So thank you for that.
Thank you. You're
Can I ask
welcome.
also a technology for privacy, something you think is important, just that average users should maybe be more aware of and maybe use every day? Could be a VPN, Tor, or something similar, or maybe something people haven't thought of using. What's something you think more
Um,
people should use?
I think people should be starting to do private DNSs, domain name servers. Like I have my own private DNS, and so I can see when I'm using applications what pictures run through my DNS. Like I was able to find out that TikTok was looking at my phone, looking through my phone and pulling images from my phone about every other minute because it was being tagged in my DNS and then being dropped into my cloud server. So then I could see that I'm getting duplicates every other minute of the exact same image. And then I could see where it was going and coming from. And that kind of ability to have that in your namespace, like I can go to the house, I can look at it. That is a huge amount of security. You can really see what is coming and going.
Got it. Very cool. So you're not the first person that I've heard talk about using at least a custom DNS, and you're talking about your own custom private DNS.
Yes,
And
sir.
and pardon my ignorance, I've never set up my own custom private DNS. What are the beginning steps? Where does one start down that journey?
Uh, I think the best way to start is at GitHub. There are 2 or 3 really good examples. I just searched on GitHub private DNS, and I think one of the packages I'm using is actually just called pDNS. It's the most basic DNS you can build on a Raspberry. You can build them on, I think I'm running mine on a Nano Pi 3, so a little bit stronger ARM machine. Yeah, they're super easy. They're just scripts, really.
Got it. So if somebody has like a local box that they're running as like for master nodes or whatever, then they would definitely have enough spare cycles to run this then.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Cool.
No problem.
Very, very cool. Well, that's awesome, man. Can I ask also any shout outs that you need to give for the private paper generator, people that you've worked with, people that have helped make the work faster for you or given you good feedback or testers?
Yeah. Uh, Mr. Greg 3G and Earthling Twin Scott are the other 2 people that helped me get this going. They've really helped me start it. And then Mr. Alcor invented the itty bitty protocol, so he definitely needs to deserve some props too.
Nice. Nice, nice. Well, hey man, I definitely appreciate you taking some time out. Definitely appreciate you being really flexible with your schedule. I know this was kind of last minute. We threw it together when we both could, and I
Yes,
asked you to
sir.
be a little more flexible than initially anticipated. So thank you for that.
It's all
Um,
good. It's all good.
yeah, and I'm looking forward to using this and then starting to send out more. Yeah, I'm actually really excited about the possibility of doing NFT based zines now, man. I might actually go and do something on, I mean, at least on
Well,
Robston. Maybe I'll issue some tokens where I can start like, okay, just try this out.
yeah. Well, send me your Ether wallet on Twitter for collectibles, and I'll send you a generator private paper token.
We'll do.
All right. Sweet.
Doug, appreciate it, man. And yeah, appreciate you sharing some wisdom and sharing what you've worked on with Private Paper Generator.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate it.
Appreciate you guys watching this all the way through. Thanks so much for being subscribed, clicking the bell icon so you're notified when new content comes out, such as the Mind Your Biz Monday show, and then the Scambuster Saturday show, as well as all of the developer interviews that we conduct for the community, absolutely free of charge because we love you guys. You're the reason I make this media. I love your face, and I will see you in the next one.